We are at Citystreet's Mead.com. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm here with the very talented and sexy Miss Carla Ayala. Miss Carla, how you doing?
Doing great, doing great.
We are in the city of Wichita, doing it big, doing it live. We have one of Wichita's most kept secrets in the R&B world. So I'm gonna quit doing all the talking. We're gonna get to know Miss Carla Ayala.
Thank you, thank you. What do you want to know?
Everything. We want to know everything and anything. Who is Miss Carla Ayala?
I'm really excited, first off, because my last trip to Atlanta, I came back with a whole different feeling because we wanted to try new things. We wanted something kind of futuristic that is pretty much timeless when it comes to music. So I'm just an artist. I'm originally from LA. Lived here since I was little. Went back and forth to California and got with a group called Hardheads. Did some singing with them, some Black Eyed Peas type stuff. And then we basically just kind of branched off, did our own thing, but I kept in touch with some of the people. And so that's who I go back and forth to see a producer named EP, who is with Track Cats, which is the company I'm with. So, I mean, we're trying to do really big things, trying to start, do some promotion in Wichita too, not just Atlanta, because this is kind of like, this is home base for me. And I want people to, the music scene in Wichita just needs to expand, and I'm ready to help do that.
Let me ask you a question. Let me expand on that a little bit. With the whole expansion on the music, what do you think is the biggest setback with the Wichita music scene as a whole?
I think the biggest setback, I've sent a couple songs to the radio stations, didn't get much support there. I don't know if it can start at the radio stations, but if they're not feeling it, they're not feeling it. So it's all about, everybody wanting to listen to you, good quality, a good sound that you can turn on the radio and be like, oh, I can hear this on the radio. So, I mean, it's a combination of things, and it's just combining all those ingredients and making people believe in you. I think it's hard to find a lot of local people to really believe in you because it's just a combination of things.
I like that. Well, we're gonna take this for a minute. We're gonna take Miss Ayala, the artist. We're gonna take her. We're gonna put her in a box. Okay, and we're gonna take her. We're gonna put her over here for a second. America, we about to get personal. We all family here. So, you're a mother. You're an artist.
It's hard because when I travel, she's constantly on my mind. I want her to be with me when I travel, but that's not always logical. It's all about dreaming. The dream is there and the drive is there. It's worth the sacrifice sometimes. And she knows, mommy's got to go do music. Mommy will be back. It's a passion. And she kind of has that instilled in her. She does a lot of music stuff too. And nobody wants to be held back. We all have to have our priorities. So it's just all about balancing it and showing her. I put her first. I put her before the music, but music's still important to me. As long as I can let her know that she's so important to me as well as what I love to do, and at the end of the day, it comes out.
That's definitely something that I can feel, because doing what I'm doing and having a son, I definitely can understand the balances. I respect that. So with that, what is the ultimate goal for you? What is, at the end of the day, when Miss Ayala is 70, 80, 130 years old, when she looks back at life, what's her ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to not regret pursuing my dreams, no matter what bump in the road I came across. Still trying, still just striving my hardest to do what I love to do, no matter what anybody says. I have plan A, B, C, D, and as long as I can look back and feel like I've tried my hardest to do what I love, as opposed to doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then I'm at peace. So being at peace with what I've done through all the years.
I like that. So, dreams. Everybody starts with a dream. Everybody. So how did you get into music? I mean, did you one day when you're 7 years old, was you sitting in the shower and you have the hairbrush and you was just doing your thing, and you said, you know what, I wanna sing. So what led you to say, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Yeah. Everybody has hobbies, but when a hobby turns into something you can't ignore, when it turns into you walk away from it, when it just keeps pulling you right back in, that's more than just a hobby. It's a passion. You know, it's something you feel like you have to do. You want to share with the world what you love to do. And, you know, I ran into somebody, a guy named Dion, who was a really good friend of mine, and he was a part of Hardheads. And that's when I really started professionally recording, was when I was about 22. I had already had Rissy, and I used to bring her to the booth with me just to get that song recorded. You know, she's crawling around and I'm trying to sing the song, and that's when I really started pushing myself and going in the studio and doing songs and networking and trying to get further with what I love to do.
So, being an artist, talk to me about some of the struggles. What has been some of the hard days? What's been like a day that you just said, I don't know if I want to do this? What's that been like?
You know, just with anything, with what you do, with an artist who paints, with a lawyer, anybody, you're your own worst critic. So, you know, when you've spent 3 or 4 hours recording and your voice is going out, you know, you're hot, you look crazy, and you're just not completely satisfied at the end of the day. Like, I could have done this, I could have done that. I mean, so that's a struggle, not being completely satisfied with your own work. And I mean, music is a hard industry, you know, to break into, because there's a million people trying to sing. There's a million people. You have to make yourself different. You have to be distinct, and that's a struggle in itself.
So what about your music? What sets you apart from everybody else? What defines you from every other artist in the industry?
Well, you know, everybody has to have, you know, their niche and kind of like their signature, what they do. You know, I write my own music. A lot of my stuff's from personal experience, and I like to combine everybody I'm inspired by with a little bit of jazz, a little bit of R&B. You know, I'm a little rock fan too. So, like I said before, everything's just a combination of all the ingredients of who you are, and then just throwing it on everybody and letting them see who you are, and not being afraid to sing, not being afraid to perform, most of all, not being afraid to be yourself. I'm not afraid to be myself, even if that means somebody not liking me.
So, talk to me about some of your influence, because if y'all didn't know, I'm a big Tupac guy. You come into my house, okay?
You got a little Tupac thing going on.
Let me tell you something. You come into my house, and I guarantee you, 6 days out of 7, you're gonna hear some Tupac bumping going loud. You know what I'm saying? So tell me about who's been your biggest influences.
Anybody who knows me knows I love Aaliyah. The day Aaliyah died, I was in my room by myself crying, because she really inspired me, she touched me, she talked to me through her music. I grew up with her, I loved her. She had this cool style about her, she was just so unique, you know. I was Aaliyah. I love Monica, I love Mary J. Blige, you know, people who just have their own style and are strong people. So, most of all, Aaliyah.
Love Aaliyah.
Yeah.
I remember when Aaliyah first came out. I was real young, and she came out with the back and forth video. It was awesome. And I was sitting there, I was watching BET, and I was like, you know, this girl gonna be a star. Love Aaliyah, you know what I'm saying? Then she just blew up, and wow, you know, tragic, untimely death.
She was at her peak when she died.
Yes, she was. And I love Aaliyah. I mean, I thought she was, I don't know, it's crazy to think where she would be now, but God called her home. So,
it reminds you nobody's invincible.
Right. And I think that's something that we do take for granted a lot. We think age is infinite and time is forever, but I don't know, there's a small reminders that we aren't. So, with that, has there ever been a day that you just looked up and you said, you know what? I don't think this is working. Have you ever just looked up and said, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. I'm going to go back to singing in the shower. I'm not going to Atlanta. I'm not recording anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I took a 2-year break from going to Atlanta, and you know, I heard it from Doug when I went. It's like, you can't. Sometimes you get consumed with work and everyday stuff. You know, like bills and your car and your child and this and that. You get so consumed, and sometimes you forget the big picture, like you should be doing. You get so involved with everyday stuff.
Right.
So I mean, there was a 2-year gap when I didn't even record anything. And I mean, we go through it. I think I needed that though. You know, you have to be taste. You have to be ready for whatever happens. I feel like if something happened now and I went mainstream, I'm ready. I don't think I'd be ready 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Timing is everything.
It's interesting that you bring up mainstream. I ask a lot of artists this very question, and I get a lot of different answers. I'm gonna ask you, asking you live here, getting the answer, putting you on the spot. Is it, at the end of the day, would it be more important to you to be one of the all-time greatest mainstream selling artists, be up there with the Beatles having 30-something #1 hits? Or would it be more important for you to be more remembered for the passion that you put into the music?
And I can't say both, right?
You can't have both. You can't have both.
Well, here's how I look at it.
Well, eventually, you might get both, but you gotta pick both.
I'm gonna pick the Beatles. I'll tell you why. Because what you do, if you're doing something that everybody wants to hear, and they're like, oh, you know, that's great, you know, you're selling thousands, millions, double platinum, whatever. A lot of artists do that, then they'll branch off and they'll do their own thing on the second album.
Yeah.
You know, so make all that money if you can. The first album, if you don't owe all these record companies, make what you can off that, and then do what you want to do on the rest of your albums, because you'll have that freedom to do that. And then, you know, if people don't like you after that, then you're like, well, you know, I still got this little money I get from doing that, and I'm still going to do what I love to do. But, you know, you gotta be promoted. You have to get yourself out there. If you really want to be successful, make money at this, and then branch off and do other things, you know. So I'll gladly change some of my stuff to get that first album out there, but that second album, I'm going to make that extra personal because I'll have that freedom to do that.
So
like how I snuck in both anyway.
I like that. You know, I mean, you know, I think at the end of the day, any talented artist, individual want to say, yeah, I want to have that Beatles repertoire going, give me the hits and give me the passion at the same thing. And I think that's what makes people great.
You can go in the basement and record and make songs and let people hear it, but you know, you have to have that sound that the radios are playing. You still have to have that. You know, you can have all the album songs you want, but you still have to have those popular songs that everybody wants to pump on the radio when you're driving out of town. It's just realistic. Yeah.
Well, what do you think about today's music?
I think becoming kind of a pop fan, like the Gaga and the Katy Perry. I'm really feeling the style they're going. You know, for a while I was a little kind of like, you know, it's not going so hot. But lately I've really been liking what's on the radio. You know, especially Lady Gaga. She's got this soulful voice. She's so different. You know, yet she turns it into a pop song. Right. So,
talk to me about some of the artists, producers you've worked with. How was that experience? Anybody that has really just stood out to you that you want to say, hey, yeah, this is what I've done.
You know, I'd say the most memorable producer I've worked with is probably So Unique, because we shared some really special growing moments. You know, we both grew in our music. We worked on some really great songs, and we started to work on a project. You know, he started doing his own thing, I started doing mine. But I would say that's my most memorable local-wise working with XV. So Unique.
Oh, a little XV plug. We do got love for XV.
Yes.
XV, we love XV. Doing this thing. I like XV. So Unique, doing it too. So where are you right now? What can we expect from you in 2011?
I wanted to put in your hand today a single. It's going to have a single, Supernatural, on it, and then 3 snippets of some new songs I did in Atlanta. So DP, the producer's coming in May. We're going to plan a release party that I'm going to invite everybody to. So by this summer, there's going to be a single and just a bunch of stuff going on, and you'll be the first to know.
I hope we're going to be the first to know. Okay, I hope we get that invitation, because I do got your number in the phone. I will be texting you like every 2 weeks. Like, can we get there? Can we get there? Can we get there? No, I think I've listened to you, and I think you add a dimension to the industry of itself that it's not out there. You know, I mean, you're doing your thing. And I don't know. I think you're uniquely. I think you're talented, and I wish you much success in the future. Very much. I'm glad. Thank you for giving us this interview.